the grass system for me, with good weather, works really well because the cattle will spread all out and go have their calf, mother it, lick it, and get it a drink and do what kind of nature intended. But when I bunch them all together, that's when I get problems. We still feed bales, partly for nutrition, but it's a management tool for us. As we roll a couple bales out, the cattle will all line up to eat, and I can grab the calves and tag and doctor as they're born. And I feel safe, they're easy to catch, the cows aren't worried, and you can do it like every other day, because I can't catch them after they're 4 or 5 days old. But the first 2 days I can always catch them, and we keep caught up in all our tagging that way through the season. By calving on grass, we're giving up some revenue that we could have used that land otherwise for, such as growing a crop or canola or better volumes of hay. Having said that, we're keeping our cattle cleaner and drier and out of the yard, and we are saving a lot of money on drugs, on disease, on antibiotics and different things that you may have a problem with by confining animals. So what we give up in an economic sense, we gain back in a different part of the farm. We peace of mind and animal welfare and all those other things pay back in a non-dollar sense.
We like to set up in our pasture plan the pastures where we'll be calving. We try to keep them on the home quarter here as close to home as possible, just in case there are problems. Occasionally you have something that needs to come in and get attention, if it's a malpresentation or twins or something like that. But in practice, since we moved to this system of calving on the bank grass this time of year, the majority of our problems disappeared. It really is an incredible transformation. The same cows moved to this environment versus winter calving. The issues really go away. Like, we find the calves have no difficulty getting up quickly and suckling, and I've seen calves being born backwards in the pasture situation where I'm sure if it'd been in the winter you'd have had to get in and had to assist them.
So if we held everything at home to calve until the calves were on the ground and old enough to leave and get them branded and all that stuff, I mean, we wouldn't be taking any pairs out till the middle of June with these May calving cows, right? So it's way better that they get over here in the middle of April in their mother's belly and then are born here. For us, we can manage the pasture way better because they're here.
By calving in May, we can push our cows a lot harder through the winter, and I think that's one of the areas where we capture some economics in terms of cost. We don't have as heavy a calf at weaning, but we don't have the dollars invested in that calf either.
We've calved cows on the bale grazing in years past with not very much success. We find that the cows are too dense, they're too close together, so you end up with a lot of cows mixing calves up with other cows, and in a storm situation or a feeding situation, you just get a lot of calves trampled in amongst the bales. So in our operation, calving time is the only time of the year where we're actually mechanically feeding the cows, and we try and get those cows spread out onto as much ground as we possibly can within their calving area. We're rolling out hay all throughout it, just basically to spread the cows out during that period.
What we typically do is we'll start with a field of 100 cows, bred cows, and put them in a 10-acre field, and we tend to get 25 or 30 calves a week. So ideally, when we get that number, by the time the week's gone past, that first pasture will be mostly utilised. So at that point we'll move the pregnant cows on into the next field, and we'll leave the ones with calves behind. We'll leave, depending how much grass is there, we'll leave them anywhere from 3 to 4 days, just until the calves firm up enough, and then we can move them onto another field of fresh bank grass. So that way we're isolating our calves, and each pasture has a bunch of calves that are within a week time frame of being born to each other. And that is a big factor certainly in controlling any scours or any health issues you might have.